This video is going to be a short reflection on George Marsden's book, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship. The first thing the reader should be aware of is that you can't really judge a book by its title, since the title is an idea which he refutes. Rather, his main point is that Christian scholarship is not an outrageous idea, but rather the bias within higher universities and academia against Christianity is outrageous. He notes that there is a myth of liberal neutrality, since in the absence of religion, there in its place rises a secular non-religion religion, which is anything but neutral, where instead of worshiping God, people worship science, ideas, and isms such as feminism and communism, or they engage in self-worship. He sees that scholarship will be affected by our worldview, whether that is a religious or non-religious one. He stresses that Christianity is essentially good for society. As he put it, Christianity teaches us to love and value every other human more and ourselves less by putting God first. He sees that morality without its Christian basis is largely destructive. Individuals who act as though there were a law unto themselves or who proclaim there is no law are apt to destroy those around them. And he also notes the difficulty of coming to the conclusion of objective morality through naturalistic means. Without theism, in a world where all moral systems are seen as simply constructions of interested groups, many people find it difficult, despite the many efforts at justification, to defend the moral claims of one group over those of another. He sees through the hypocrisy of multiculturalism, which in fact silences the main beliefs of many cultures, that is, their religious beliefs. He writes, "The irony of the current situation is that much of the animus toward conservative religion comes in the name of multiculturalism and diversity. Peoples of diverse cultures are welcomed into respectable academic culture, but only on the condition that they leave the religious dimensions of their cultures at the door. Moreover, if truth exists, then all cultures cannot be equal. Some must logically be closer to truth than others." He addresses the faulty logic of post-modernism, since saying there is no absolute truth is an absolute statement and is thus self-defeating its own logic. The one downfall I have with his work is that he attempts to advance a moderate view of Christianity to work within pluralism. It seems to me that there will always be a cultural siding with religion or non-religion, which is why standing up for your faith and culture is imperative. There are some works that have extended upon Marsden's book. Anthony J. Diekema, in his book Academic Freedom and Christian Scholarship, is primarily concerned about the principle of academic freedom, including the freedom of thought and ideas. If the principle is applied consistently, that means Christian scholarship is deserving of such academic freedom as much as any other type of scholarship. Elmer Thiessen, in defense of religious schools and colleges, wields common objections to religious schools and provides common sense responses. He notes that there is an anti-religious bias in modern academic culture that seeks to relegate religion to the private sphere, where people are not allowed to follow through publicly with their convictions. He says that if we are being consistent with the ideas of tolerance, diversity, and equality, then Christianity should be equally tolerated with the diverse array of other fields of academic inquiry. Before Marsden wrote his book, Alan Bloom reflected in his award-winning work, The Closing of the American Mind, on how universities in America have become closed to the idea of truth, which is why they are closed to Christianity. He reflected that being closed-minded is actually being closed to the idea of truth, the pursuit of truth, or even the idea that truth exists, objective truth that is. To be open to the idea of truth, on the other hand, is actually to be open-minded. Bloom shows that the purpose of education is not just the collection of intellects for the mind, however, but rather the enrichment of the soul. That the most important function of the university in an age of reason is to protect reason from itself, by being the model of true openness, that is, being open to truth.